chiseled in granite. You can alter the trajectory we're on. You can turn it around. Ordinary American citizens can change the trajectory we're on. But we have to recognize the urgency. And so when I write a big, like, apocalyptic doom-mongering tract that says we got to do this by mid-decade or we're done for, it's because I want us to do it by mid-decade, because I want the last-minute happy ending. You know, if we were selling this project to Disney, they'd focus group it and say, oh, we love it, but we want to change it to an all-singing, all-dancing finale. Well, if you want the all-singing, all-dancing happy ending, you have to go out and earn it. It's not just going to happen naturally, and that's the challenge, America.
Well, how do you do that when, for instance, 51% of the people in this country, 51% of the eligible voters don't even pay income tax?
No, and I think that's the great tragedy, that we have looted the future to bribe the present, and we shouldn't tolerate any excuses on that. I mean, I've had things where occasionally I'll be on the radio or I'll say something about this, and I'll get letters from people who say, well, you know, I'm a government bureaucrat, you're attacking me, but I paid into my pension plan and I want my pension. And I say, you know, okay, that's right. You tell your kids that you want yours, and you don't care whether it kills their future, kills their grandchildren's future, it kills your state and your nation. It doesn't matter now whether you paid into your stupid government pension plan. It was always a racket, and if you have any sense of social obligation whatsoever, you will understand that this is a time for shared sacrifice. You know, anyone can say, when things go bad, anyone sitting in London in 1940 under a hail of German bombs, having to go and huddle in the tube station every night because German bombs are smashing up your home, could say, well, you know, I didn't sign up for this plan. I want a refund. Sometimes life hands you, sometimes life calls upon you to step up and recognize the enormity of the moment, and that is what we face in the United States. If you want a United States in 2030 or 2040, you've got to get real about what you need to do to keep it going.
Well, now, in your book, can you address those people? Can you talk to those people in this book? Do you? Those people that say, come on, you're an alarmist. This place has been here since I was born. It'll be here long after I'm gone.
Yeah, and I think every generation always makes the mistake of assuming the permanence of their moment. You know, that this is the way it is. Those of us who were born in the late 20th century, and particularly in the United States, I mean, I modify Cecil Rhodes' famous line from the 19th century that to be born an Englishman is to win first prize in the lottery of life. To be born a citizen of the United States in the late 20th century was to win first prize in the lottery of life. And because that was so, because you and I and millions of other people enjoyed this rare moment of peace and prosperity, we think it's as permanent a feature as the earth and the sky and the sea and the stars, and we don't understand that it's not. It's a very precarious thing, and it's not the normal condition of life.
It hasn't been ever the normal condition.
No. And you can mirror that if you read any reports or essays from Habsburg Vienna in August 1914. They thought the rhythms of imperial life in Vienna had gone on for centuries, essentially unchanged, and they thought it would always be so. And it isn't. Sometimes, if you want your moment to endure, you have to step up to the plate, and that's why when we have a super committee with John Kerry that's going to report back and say, let's raise the age of Medicare eligibility from 65 to 67 in 2050, that guy's a joke. He's surfing off Nantucket until 2050 in his buttock-hugging yellow spandex and have a grand old time, because that's the best thing he could do for this republic, rather than sit on a super committee proposing ludicrous, inadequate, incremental shifts in decades this country is unlikely to see if we stick to that timeline.
You've enlightened me. I thought all along that John Kerry's deficit reduction plan for America was to get America to marry rich widows.
Well, that would actually make more sense if he were to say the solution to the United States government's problem is for the United States government to be Theresa Heinz Kerry's third husband. That would actually be a more plausible deficit reduction plan.
Well, if he's going to go windsurfing off Nantucket, could we send him in the direction of those wind farms? Oh, wait a minute. They didn't build those.
That's cruel. I think we should send him, we put a huge gun behind him and catapult him in his windsurfing spandex over into the middle of the London riots. They'll love him in that.
Oh, no, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. And I want to say, by the way, that thus far, my favorite passage out of your book is the Monopoly board game so far.
Oh, right.
But now, the book, of course, was published before the London riots. Do you want to address what was going on over there?
Well, chapter 5 of my book is called Britannia, the Depraved City. And when you're launching a book, you always hope to have a bit of help from the news cycle. I mean, basically, these baying morons in the streets of London decided to reenact chapter 5 of my book by burning the town to the ground. I was doing a warning there of how quickly big government corrodes the spirit of a people. And I think in that sense, the London riots are part of the same story as the downgrade, that it's not just about debauching your nation's finances, but big government, in the end, debauches a nation's human capital. And if you look at what's happening in the Wisconsin State Fair, if you look at what's happening with the flash mobs, it's not hard to figure out that in a poorer, broker America, are we likely to have more flash mobs than Wisconsin State Fair? Are we likely to see incidents like what's happening on the streets of London? I don't think that's a difficult question to answer.
Do you think there's going to be more of it?
I think there is, because I think we risk, unless we have serious course correction. If you have a permanent post-prosperity America, you will see all kinds of fractures. What was most striking to me, and most horrible, particularly as an immigrant, because the state fair is one of these kind of rituals of Americana. It's one of these things we think
uniquely American in many ways, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And so when you see, it's the gleefulness of those rioters. When you look at the pictures, they're smiling. They know they can prey on those people with impunity. And just to go back to London for a minute, for any of your listeners who've seen the film of A Clockwork Orange or read that marvelous...
I saw it. I didn't understand it.
Well, the thing about it is it seemed weird at the time, but if you read the novel, it's like extraordinarily prophetic. Gleeful youths preying on what were at that time some of the most peaceful streets in the world. When you see it at the Wisconsin State Fair, you should understand that that's a glimpse of the future. A broke America with millions of young people for whom there are no opportunities, who will never enjoy the lives of their baby boom parents and grandparents. And if you think that is likely to be a recipe for social tranquility, I don't think so. That's why we need to change this thing around.
Do you think they instinctively understand that their life is not going to be like their parents'?
I don't think they do, but I think to go back to that business about being born in America is to win first prize in the lottery of life. I think there are an awful lot of people who think that simply because you're born in the dominant power, that the benefits of a comfortable life, your iPods and your Xboxes, will automatically drop into your lap. And in the end, the guy who makes your Xbox or your iPod, who goes to the factory in Bangalore over in India every day, and gets a low wage for making the toy that you lie around the house listening to all day. In the end, economic reality will assert itself, and it's not enough just to say, we've had a great run since 1950, we've had unparalleled peace and prosperity, it's going to go on like that forever. All previous dominant powers, all great powers in history, learned the hard way that in the end there's no kind of geopolitical entitlement. Just because you're born in Des Moines doesn't mean you're going to live better than the guy in Bangalore.
It's marvelous book, and every time you write a column, I just automatically link to it.
I know, and I always get tons of response from people who pick it up from you.
You're an amazing writer, amazing talent. I love the book. After America, Get Ready for Armageddon, and maybe the knowledge will help people to avoid it. Thank you, Mark Stein. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man. Pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye. That's Mark Stein. Back in a moment.
Freedom of speech is still a vibrant, thriving concept on the Neil Borch Show.
You know, and there's something in the book about the last sigh of liberty will be heaved by an Englishman. Maybe now an American. Hey, it's Neil Borch. I want you to know something about gold. It's not rated AAA, AA, A+, B, C, D, F-. It's not rated based on somebody else's idea of its credit worthiness. Gold is a hard asset measured in weight and purity. A 1-ounce gold coin that is 0.999 pure gold will always be just that. Gold prices fluctuate on the real market factors, not on ratings. When the U.S. gets a downgrade, the world becomes shaky, people face an uncertain economic future, and gold can provide you with protection and opportunity. Owning gold can give you real peace of mind. Now, I own gold from ITM Trading, and so should you. Call 1-888-OWN-GOLD now and get